Welcome back to the channel, gang. Here we are at something that I have been waiting a long time to feature. We were here once before. Due to the global crisis, we had to wait. Well, we are finally back. Big Easy and Uncle Bobo are extremely excited because we have a legitimate barn find Dodge swept line. And as you guys know, we may be a little bit of a Dodge fans. Now, if you come take a look here, on our first video of this truck, Clyde, and I know you're watching, Clyde, you said, no, there's no way it's this thing hasn't been sitting. Yes, it has. If you take a look at the stuff on top of the air can and everything else in here, this truck has not moved for a decade. So, it is legitimately a barn find. Now, we are going to get to this. This truck's going to get fired up, brought out of here, brought home, fixed up, and have plenty of screen time on the channel. That being said, we have agreed to get something else going for the fine gentleman that's allowed us to acquire this truck. If you'd kindly follow me, we have an amazing Chevrolet 30 Cube van that has been parked here for an equal amount of time that will need a little bit of love to fire up so it can drive out of here. So we're going to feature how to get an old car running with this because it's fuel injected. Very different than a carburetor. Once we get this one going, we'll show you the tips and tricks to get a fuel injected vehicle from the 80s, early 90s running. We'll then move on to the Dodge. You guys are not going to want to miss this. Uncle Bobo, if you want to start getting the doghouse out,
we're good.
And I will start cleaning the battery terminals. If we look at, in a van, guys, what you need to get is the doghouse off so you can get to the top of the engine.
Just take that screw out, that screw out. This whole thing should come right out.
And then out here, if you take a look, we have, here's your air intake. Master cylinders and vans are, I prefer the Chevrolet way of doing it because in an old Dodge vans, the master would actually sit like this. It would come out and have a cantilever system and the master cylinder would sit like this because of the snub nose on the Dodge vans. Hopefully we find a Dodge van to feature one day, guys. Until then, perfect opportunity to get a beast of an old work truck, essentially, running on the channel. So, the first step we got to do, this is a GM throttle body injection. We'll take everything off the top of the intake once we get the doghouse off. And we got to see what's in there. Check the wiring. We're going to crank the engine over before we put any new fuel to it. Unhook the fuel lines going back to the tank. Run our own electric pump with fresh fuel. See if we can get the injectors to fire. Try running it on a little bit of starting fluid. And go from there. But we'll bring you along with the whole thing, gang. Hopefully you enjoy it. And then we'll move on to the old Dodge. Carburetors are a lot easier to get going. Perfect opportunity here, though, to demonstrate what to do with fuel injection. All right, we'll see you soon. All right, gang, so we've done some inspecting. We've checked fuel lines. We've checked wiring. We've checked and made sure the engine is free. This is a really good sign. So one of the things you want to check is the coolant. It's green and full, which is a very good sign. So I'm not worried about frost plugs. Not that we really live in a cold environment, but you always got to make sure. So our next step here is we're going to clean the connections on the battery. We'll leave the original battery in for now. Use the jump box, cycle the key and see if we can hear any kind of fuel pump happening. Get some starting fluid and we'll be back with you when we give it a crank and see what happens. Stay tuned. So, one of the good things about side mount battery posts in a Chevy is if the person put a side / top mount in it, really easy to hook cables to. So we're just giving her a clean so it gets a good connection. I've checked these. Whoever put it away put dielectric grease underneath it. They're nice and clean underneath and should conduct. Now we just need to get to the negative. Thankfully, my Makita drill has a nice little LED light on it. let's see what happens. Turn it on. Wiggle the connections on the ground that's not making the great connection, and turn the box off before you do it.
Thanks.
Box on?
No, I got it. Just came off.
Okay. Starter's pretty tired too, right? The engine's good though. I mean, we got the first step dealt with. That's a good sign.
Is it?
Yeah. It means we're getting close to having it run by itself, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to try to move this fine automobile with our good friend Zoli in the passenger seat, feeding fuel down a throttle body while I manipulate the controls to see if we can get it to move. Because you do not want to work on it in there. Let's see what happens. It's running. Oh. But yeah, we can get it out of here like this, eh? I think if we back it up. Welcome back, gang. Here we are, getting the old Dodge to start. Now, not being fuel injected, it's going to be a little bit easier. Currently, I am unhooking this old fuel line right here for the feed to the carburetor, so I can run a small electric pump from a jerry can into here. Now, you'll notice I'm looking away. Okay, now, Uncle Bobo, if you could possibly find one, gloves that don't suck, two, a bolt that we can put in the end of here so it doesn't spray the old fuel when we do get it to run, because this fuel pump is still going to function and try to put fuel through here, and we don't want that.
Word.
While I wire up our temporary fuel pump. We'll be right back. Welcome back, gang. Here we are at our good friend Zoli's house, getting the old Dodge running. So we've cleaned the battery terminals off, unhooked the factory fuel line because the fuel in the tank is shot. We've got it plugged off here. Uncle Bobo's going to keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't spray when the engine catches. We've got our electric pump set up and already filled the float bowl. I'm going to hop in, and if it fires and runs, then Uncle Bobo will turn the pump on. For now, we're just going to run it off the battery from Herc. We're not going to worry about running it. If it doesn't crank quick enough, then we'll start the new Ram to get the old Dodge going. I am going to crawl through here and slide in behind the steering wheel. Some YouTube channels have cold starts. We're talking about a cold start here. It's not cold out, but this sucker's a cold start. Okay, now I gotta slide through here.
It's nice.
Of course, you see I still have my sunglasses on because of my level of coolness. Take these off so I can see where I'm going. Oh, that's a good sign. A giant can of one-shot defog wasp and hornet nest killer. It makes me feel comfortable. The interior light works. I like the seat cover. The interior is beautiful. Okay. Awesome 76 by 9s.
Got lights.
Well, there you go, guys. A 70 or 71? 70 Dodge. And idling by itself. How long has it been sitting here?
11 years.
Sounds like it needs a water pump. Carburetor's good. There's like no fuel in it, eh? It's on E. And there's nothing really coming out. Little bit spitting out. Quick peek of the interior, gang. So this truck could use rockers, which we'll get done. It's Bobo's first swept line. Bobo says it's gonna be his daily. It's gonna be sweet. Welcome to the outro, gang. Now, that being said, we already had an outro filmed that I nailed. Someone forgot to hit record.
My bad.
So, we accomplished the mission for our good friend Zoli of getting the old cube van out of the back barn because he needed the space. We will be back for the barn find swept line. We got it running in this episode. Coming up, you're going to want to stay tuned because we got a lot of big plans for it. I can't give away who's sponsoring that build, but it's going to be amazing, so stay tuned. I would like to take this opportunity, gang, to say thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Share, tell your friends, because we got some amazing things coming. You're helping us live a dream. Thank you very much. So until next time, gang, like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.